very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, your one-stop breakfast show for the biggest news stories that you need to know at the start of the day. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you, and here are this morning's headlines. Indian border guards thwart attempts by Chinese soldiers to enter its territory in Ladakh. Standoff at Pangong Lake. Soldiers injured on both sides in stone pelting. Thirteen districts affected by floods in Bihar. Death toll climbs to 56. Situation continues to be critical in Assam. Government directs internet measures to remove links of dangerous online game Blue Whale Challenge. Game has led to children's suicide in the country. And 27 people killed and 83 injured in a suicide attack by Boko Haram in northeastern Nigeria. Attack carried out by 3 female suicide bombers. Top story this morning: as India celebrated its 71st Independence Day on Tuesday, Indian and Chinese armies clashed in Ladakh. Now, Indian border guards are frustrated an attempt by the Chinese soldiers to enter Indian territory along the banks of famous Pangong Lake in Ladakh. Now, this resulted in stone pelting that caused minor injuries to people on both the sides. Soldiers of the People's Liberation Army tried to enter the Indian side in 2 areas, Finger 4 and Finger 5, twice between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. on 15th of August. But on both the occasions, their attempts were thwarted. After Chinese troopers found their path blocked by Indian soldiers, they began hurling stones. Indian border guards retaliated. The situation was brought under control after the customary banner drill, which both sides hold before stepping back to their respective positions. This clash comes amid in the backdrop of a standoff along the Sikkim border. And on to the flood situation across several states of the country. Now, situation in Bihar is grim, with 13 districts now affected by rising waters. The death toll has touched 56. Here is a report.
हम अपने लाइफ में ऐसा पानी कभी देखे ही नहीं। इससे पहले था बाढ़ जो आया था पिछले साल, तो उसमें कुछ राहत मिली थी हमको, तो हम ला के दिए थे पब्लिक को। इस बार हमको कुछ नहीं मिला, तो हम लोग सब उसी एक ही तरह सब एक ही है।
69.81 lakh people in 13 districts of Bihar hit by the flood. The situation is grim and the death toll has risen to 56.
अचानक सैलाब आने से थोड़ा 3 रोज से बारिश हुआ। भारी बारिश के कारण इतना सैलाब आ गया, जिसके लिए कि हम लोग का छत के ऊपर पानी गुजर रहा।
Chief Minister Nitish Kumar made an aerial survey of flood-affected areas again, his second since Monday. He spoke about the flood situation in the state in his Independence Day address.
बाढ़ से उत्तर बिहार में कई जिलों में काफी नुकसान हुआ है। उत्तरी बिहार की नदियां खतरे के निशान से ऊपर बह रही हैं और इस क्षेत्र के लोग अप्रत्याशित स्थिति का सामना कर रहे हैं।
The state government reiterating that the first right over the state's treasury is of flood victims and that the centre is offering all possible assistance.
सेना को बुलाना पड़ा है और एनडीआरएफ की करीब 22 टीम और एसडीआरएफ की 16 टीम दिन रात लोग लगे हुए हैं और बड़ी संख्या में मोटर बोट और हर तरह की मदद की जा रही है कि दिन रात एक करके लोग बाढ़ से जूझ रहे हैं। और देश के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी और माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी लगातार उनके संपर्क में हैं और केंद्र हर तरह की मदद कर रहा है। तो केंद्र राज्य दोनों मिलकर इस भयंकर जो विपदा है इसका मुकाबला कर रहे हैं।
1.61 lakh people have been evacuated and taken to safer places. Out of them, 85,949 have been put up in 343 relief camps in different places. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the situation in Assam is also critical. 32 lakh people in 25 districts of the state have been affected. Now, 18 people have been killed so far in the second wave of deluge. Now, Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal said that the main cause of the havoc created by river Brahmaputra is the silt and sand carried by the rivers from other states. The Chief Minister has said that possible central assistance is being provided and that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assured cooperation towards finding a lasting solution to the problem by taking up the matter with the neighbouring states. The floods have not only claimed lives but has also affected wildlife in the state. And flood fury also continues in several parts of West Bengal and Arunachal Pradesh. In West Bengal, the overall situation in the worst hit Jalpaiguri and Alipurduar district has improved. Water levels of all the major rivers in North Bengal have receded. In view of the prevailing condition, 11 outgoing trains have been cancelled. Several Kolkata-bound buses have also been cancelled. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee says that the situation is being monitored round the clock. Meanwhile, in Arunachal Pradesh, the flood situation continues to be grim in several districts with reports of a disruption of surface communication pouring in from various parts of the state. Intra-district road communications have been badly affected due to landslides. The Border Road Task Force has deployed men and machines to clear the road blockades. And on to some other news now. Search operations are still underway in Uttarakhand's Pithoragarh district to trace the persons who went missing after the two cloudbursts. The cloudbursts triggered by torrential rain in Tawaghat and Malpa areas of Dharchula subdivision claimed 6 lives. 10 people are still missing. Now, continuous rain is also hampering relief and rescue operations in the area. The SDRF, ITBP, state police and army personnel have been pressed into services to carry out relief and rescue operations. And in the wake of these incidents in the state, the External Affairs Ministry has said that all Kailash Mansarovar pilgrims are safe and secure. It also said that the Uttarakhand government is in constant touch with them. In a series of tweets, the MEA spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that Uttarakhand government and ITBP are taking steps to ensure a safe journey for the Kailash Mansarovar pilgrims. And in neighbouring Nepal, in Bangladesh also, the flood situation is alarming. Now 120 people have lost lives in Nepal, while in Bangladesh more than 500,000 people have been affected.
Flood and landslides in Nepal claiming 120 lives, nearly 35 people still unaccounted for, over 6 million affected across the Himalayan country.
यहाँ सबभन्दा पहिले चौपायाहरूको सबभन्दा बर्बादी भएको छ मान्छेको, तर आफू खान पुग्दैन चौपायालाई के खिलाउनु यस्तो अवस्था छ। मान्छे आफ्नो जान जोगाउन सक्दैन, चौपायाको जान कसरी जोगाउँछ यो अवस्था छ, यो सृजित अवस्था छ। यो सरकारले यहाँसम्म नजर पुर्याएको छैन, जबकि सरकारले गर्दैन भने कसले गर्छ।
More than 2,800 houses have been completely destroyed. Heavy rains have lashed the country for the past 5 days. The Rapti River, which flows through a large part of Nepal towards the southern plains, has flooded human settlements. Many people, including foreigners, have been stranded in Sauraha, a part of the Chitwan National Park that is a popular tourist spot. Nearly 27,000 security personnel are engaged in post-disaster operations and a search for those missing is underway. 27 districts across Nepal have been affected. China has announced a $1 million assistance to the flood-hit country. In Bangladesh, more than 500,000 people have been affected by heavy monsoon rains that have triggered floods. Three days of continuous rain have caused floods and landslides that have killed at least 27 people. Thousands have been forced to flee their homes as the rain affected 20 districts in the country. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the flood situation in Sierra Leone in West Africa is also grim. The president there has appealed for urgent help for the flood-hit capital of Freetown, and the area is the worst hit with up to 400 people feared dead as the rescue workers continue to search for bodies. Hundreds of people are missing after muddy rubble swept through the Regent area near the capital Freetown on Monday. A mass burial of victims is planned to free up space in mortuaries. Dozens of more bodies were recovered on Tuesday as rescue efforts were mounted and search conducted at destroyed houses in the area. The Red Cross said that 312 bodies have been recovered on Monday, adding that it was struggling to get equipped to extricate bodies that were buried deep into the mud. The aid agency added that an estimated 600 people were still missing. It is feared that the number of dead will further rise. Around 3,000 people are estimated to have lost their homes.
The worst disaster this way Salome ever met. Because even during the Ebola, the highest number of deaths per day within 24 hours for Ebola were 111 people. Even January 6th, I don't see this kind of catastrophe.
From since we were born, the first year this was the kind of disaster that damaged.
And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
National Institute for Research in Tuberculosis, in fact, has done extensive work on vaccine research related to TB, especially with the BCG vaccine. We have now very good treatment for TB, and we have shown that it is possible to cure TB provided the patient takes the treatment properly. Delayed detection of the TB disease results in more transmission in the community.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Srikant Prasad Tripathi, Director at National Institute for Research Tuberculosis, Chennai, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, affectionately known as Madiba, was South Africa's first democratically elected president, an international peacemaker and statesman, and a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Through a long career as an activist, Mandela was a crusader for equal rights for South Africa's black majority. Having undergone frequent imprisonment, in 1964, Mandela was sentenced to life in jail. Charged with sabotage, treason, and violent conspiracy, he narrowly escaped the gallows. He was released in 1990, having initiated talks with South African President de Klerk towards ending apartheid in the country. Mandela was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1993 for his efforts. In April 1994, the Mandela-led African National Congress won South Africa's first elections by universal suffrage. And Mandela was sworn in as president of the country's first multi-ethnic government. He retired from the presidency in 1999 and from public life in 2004. Nelson Mandela died on December 5, 2013 from a recurring lung infection. Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervor dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Thanks for staying with us. Pakistani troops violated a ceasefire on Independence Day by firing at two places along the line of control in Uri sector of Jammu and Kashmir. A woman was injured as a result after being hit on the leg and arms by bullets. She was first given an aid at the military camp before being moved to a civilian hospital for treatment. It was for the third consecutive day that Pakistani troops violated ceasefire along the line of control in North Kashmir. More news from Jammu and Kashmir. Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti has said that she has faith in the institutions of the country and expressed confidence that the Supreme Court will dismiss a petition that challenges Article 35A of the Constitution. Mufti made it clear that power battles or political ideologies will not be a hindrance if there is a threat to the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. She also said that she had followed a rival National Conference's leader Farooq Abdullah's fatherly advice on the issue. Now, a plea in the Supreme Court has challenged some of these provisions, following which the Supreme Court has said that a constitution bench may examine whether Article 35A is gender-biased and violative of the basic structure of Constitution.
हमें यकीन है अपने सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे, उन्होंने आज तक जब जम्मू कश्मीर के तशख़्ख़ुस की तरफ किसी ने उंगली उठाई, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के दरबार में चला गया तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उसको डिसमिस किया। मुझे यकीन है कि आज भी जो सिलसिला सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने है उसको हमारी जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट है उसको उसी तरह से दुत्कारेगी जिस तरह पिछले 70 साल से वो दुत्कारती आई है।
On to some other news now. Government has directed internet majors Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Microsoft and Yahoo to immediately remove the links of dangerous online game Blue Whale Challenge. The hazardous game has led to suicide of children in India and other countries of the world as well. Mumbai and West Midnapur district have reported deaths linked to this game. The order was issued following instructions from IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad. The Blue Whale Challenge is reportedly a suicide game in which a player is given a certain task to complete for a period of 50 days and the final task leads to suicide. The player is also asked to share photographs after finishing off the challenge. The ministry has directed the proponent of Blue Whale Challenge to report to law enforcement agencies. News from Uttar Pradesh. The government there has asked all schools of the state to put on hold morning assemblies from today to prevent the spread of swine flu. The decision aims to check the spread of the disease and ensure that school children do not catch the infection. Till 13th of August this year, 695 cases of swine flu have been reported across the state, out of which 21 people have died. The government has formed a district-level response force. Consists of a public health specialist, a physician, an epidemiologist, a pathologist and a lab technician. More news from Uttar Pradesh. Now, a panel of doctors from Delhi have said that the number of deaths of children at the BRD Medical Hospital in Gorakhpur this year is lesser than that of previous year. The doctors have said that this is happening in its interim report. The panel had gone to Gorakhpur to look into the deaths of children and has now submitted the report to the Additional Health Secretary of the central government. Nearly 70 children, including infants, have died at the hospital since 7th of August due to various causes, including encephalitis. Now, many of these deaths were alleged to have been caused by a shortage of oxygen, a claim which was dismissed by the Uttar Pradesh government. The team said that 200 deaths were reported at the state-run hospital in July this year as compared to 292 deaths during the same period last year. And as the rift in the Janata Dal United is deepening, the Sharad Yadav-led faction is all set to show its strength, with the party preparing to hold a national convention in the national capital on 17th of August, 2 days before Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar is scheduled to formally join the NDA. The party will be holding this meeting with all 18 non-BJP parties. Now, Kumar's faction, however, has downplayed any of the repercussions of such a meeting. However, Yadav has claimed that his camp is true to the ideologies of the JDU. The Nitish-led group would be meeting on 19th of August to announce its decision to formally join the NDA as the 29th party.
पार्टियों के में से आधा दर्जन पार्टी ऐसी हैं जिनके पास तो ना लोकसभा में कोई सदस्य है, ना राज्यसभा में सदस्य है, ना विधानसभा में कोई सदस्य है। वो निरंतर इस तरह की एक्सरसाइज करते रहते हैं और हमें उसमें कोई ऐतराज़ नहीं है। जनता दल से उसका कोई लेना देना भी नहीं।
जनता दल यूँ तो हम लोग हैं जिसके साथ जनता है, तो आने वाले समय में वो प्रमाणित होगा। चुनाव भी आएगा तब भी होगा, और भी होगा तो होगा। तो हम लोग चूँकि हम लोग 15 के मैंडेट पर ही हैं, हम लोग पार्टी के रेजोल्यूशन और कार्यक्रम और नीतियों पर ही हैं।
जेडीयू है कहाँ? वो तो बीजेपी हो गया। जेडीयू तो अपने जगह पर कायम है शरद यादव के नेतृत्व में और लाखों खर्च करता। जेडीयू तो खत्म हो गया, वो तो नमो शरणम गच्छामि हो गया।
And let's get you some international news. At least 27 people have been killed and 83 others injured as 3 female suicide bombers blew themselves up in northeastern Nigeria. The attack took place outside a refugee camp near Maiduguri in Borno State, a stronghold of the Islamic militant group Boko Haram. The first bomber blew herself up near the camp, triggering a panic. Now, as people were trying to close their shops, 2 other female bombers triggered explosives, causing most of the casualties. Rescue workers transported injured victims to a hospital in Maiduguri, 25 kilometers from where the incident occurred. Now, Boko Haram has been fighting to set up an Islamic State since 2009. News from the United States now, where President Donald Trump has again blamed both the sides for the violent unrest in Charlottesville in Virginia, which left 1 protester dead and others injured. In a statement on Monday, he had condemned white supremacists, but in New York on Tuesday, he also blamed left-wing supporters for charging at the alt-right. He also defended the time that it took to make his statement, saying that he had wanted to establish all the facts. Now, Trump had been accused over the weekend of failing to condemn the far right specifically. A woman died and 19 others were hurt when a car was driven into people protesting against a far right march in Charlottesville on Saturday. Now, Trump also condemned the driver of the car, saying that he was a disgrace to himself, his family and his country.
I watched those very closely, much more closely than you people watched it. And you have, you had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent. And nobody wants to say that, but I'll say it right now. You had a group on the other side that came charging in without a permit, and they were very, very violent.
And time for all the sporting action now. Here is the sports beat. Russian tennis star Maria Sharapova will be playing her first Grand Slam after receiving a wildcard entry for the United States Open. Sharapova has played in the US Open main draw 10 times before. Sharapova's US Open preparations have been disrupted by an arm injury suffered during her first round win over Jennifer Brady earlier this month. The US Open will begin from 28th of August to 10th of September in Flushing Meadows in New York. Indian men's hockey team beat world number 4 the Netherlands 2-1 in an exciting encounter in Amsterdam. Gurjant Singh and Mandeep Singh scored a goal each as India clinched victory. The Indian team featured 9 players from the junior team, but they still managed to beat an experienced Netherlands squad and won the 3-match series. Football player Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi and Gianluigi Buffon have been nominated for the UEFA's Player of the Year award. Messi and Ronaldo have both won the award twice, with the Portugal international voted winner last year. The awards will be presented at this season's Champions League group stage draw in Monaco on 24th of August. Well, that's it in this edition of news. But before we wrap up, we leave you with the visuals of Janmashtami celebrations from across the country on Tuesday. Now, temples in Mathura, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Nandgaon and Gokul were richly decorated for the occasion as the pilgrims from across the country thronged to celebrate the birth of the much-loved blue-skinned god. Take a look as we leave you with these visuals. Thanks for your time.